Hello everyone, welcome to follow along while I'm remembering the good old times and going through my old cars that I have owned. Let's dive in straight, and the first car I'm gonna talk about is not actually mine. It was my friend's field car that we got to drive. It's a Ford Fiesta Mark II. It's 1980 something, I can't remember any details about that, but the picture you are seeing is from 2014, like I was 13 years old when the picture was taken. If I remember correctly, we started driving that thing when we were like 10 to 11 years old, so yeah, I really don't have a lot of memories about that, but it was fun. It was manual, so you could learn all the necessary skills before having the driver's license, and yeah, it was fun experience to drive that. Next, my first car, it was a Volvo 240. The engine was 2-liter B200F, and it had the 5-speed manual. No ABS, no airbags, nothing. I got my driver's license in winter, so it was perfect winter car, and it really taught me how to drive the car. And there was many times, well, not many, but few times when I was stuck in the ditch because I was too optimistic with my driving line and driving style, so stuff happened. But overall, nothing major, just had fun. It was actually my most troublesome car since I had some alternator issues with it, and I had some problems with the door handles, locks in the winter. But overall, it was very reliable, over 400,000 kilometers on that thing already, and later it got to be my first project car, and then I pretty much ditched it, and yeah, never got it to be driven again, at least in my hands. Then, while I had the 240, we were both with my friend a Volvo 440, and it was a front wheel drive car, and I'm not really sure why we bought it, but it was like we drove it on the forest roads and pretty much just trashed the car. It cost like 300 euros with just have been inspected and with a new windshield, which was honestly pretty good deal. It had some problems to start up on cold weather, but overall nothing major, so really cheap car, and it was fun, but then it got demolished. For my second daily driver, I bought a Volvo 850 Wagon. It had the 170 horsepower engine and automatic transmission, which was honestly pretty nice to have in the city while driving the car as a daily. It had some lowering springs on it already before I bought it. Otherwise, it was pretty boring. The gas mileage wasn't that great, but it was reliable, it was roomy on the inside, and yeah, good daily driver. While I had this car, I started to work on the Volvo 240, that's my first car, and I installed the turbocharger to that, and well, it did work, but my oil return line was a bit too small for the turbo, and it smoked really bad, like you can see in the picture. Otherwise, it worked pretty well. It was really on a budget. The turbo came with the car when I bought it. Like, I got some other ECU and bigger injectors and something like that with car. So yeah, I did that, but then because it smoked, I had an idea to make a proper build, so I stripped the car pretty much everything other than the rear axle, was taken off the car, and then I started to remove the coating that prevents rust, because it was already a rust car and I wanted to fix that, but then it just got left because I had some other projects that had more interest in. And then the Volvo 850 I traded to Volvo 940 Wagon. It was 2.3 liter, 5-speed manual. The first day I got the car, I went to see my friend, and then we had some fun. We had some burnouts and everything, and the radiator broke off like the first day I got the car. And I was visiting my parents, so I was like 100 kilometers away from my home, so I had to drive it to home and constantly fill up the coolant system with water so it doesn't overheat. Really not so fun then, but fun memory to have. And the car had got springs, which felt awful to drive, but it was a bit lower, and it had some nicer wheels. I have no idea what brand, and probably it's just some cheap Chinese wheels, but they look okay, I think. Then I kept the car for a while, then I sold it, then I bought it back when my friend or co-worker had turbocharged it, and then I bought it back, but it didn't really work. He didn't have any better injectors, so he had stock ones, and there was fuel cut, and it didn't really work. And since it was like the car I don't need at the moment, I think I had 5 cars at the time when I bought it back, so I just sold it. I had an idea. I had a Holset HX40 turbo. I got it in place, but never even turned the car on or anything, so yeah. Then I bought another Volvo 940, and this time it was diesel, so the D24, it was turbo, 4-speed manual with the button 5th gear, Volvo guys know, and it was not intercooler model, but still turbo, and it was a project when I bought it. It didn't have the gearbox or clutch or anything on the car. Well, the gearbox came with the car, but there was no clutch or anything, so I had to buy clutch system and some other parts to get the car running condition, and then I drove it like a couple times. Never got the car registered back to the road, so it was not road legal. Then there was some overheating issues, which caused that I sold the car to my friend for way too cheap, but I got it out of my hands. We also painted it half with my friend, and it was just matte black paint, and then we installed the wooden pallet to the roof. At this moment I had the 240 still, I had the white 940, I had the diesel 940, and now I bought a 940 gasoline turbo, so it was 2.3 liter turbo with, I think it's 5-speed manual still, the M90 gearbox and B230 FT engine. It was not registered at the time, like the inspection wasn't done on the car when I bought it, and I had to do a lot of basic maintenance to the car. I even bought DO88 silicone hoses for the coolant system. Then I got the car inspected, and I think it's my nicest Volvo I've ever owned. I installed KN cold air filter, well, air filter. That wasn't really an intake kit, but just air filter, so I could get some turbulence out of it, but that's pretty much only modification to that car. And the funny thing about that, the catalysator got stolen 2 times from the car. First time the original, which I kinda get because you can get some money out of that if you sell the old original catalysator. But then the second time it was some cheap thing to get to inspection, and the idiot stole that too, so yeah. But then I sold it. While I still had the old Volvos, I bought another Volvo 240 Wagon, which was crashed already on the front. And well, you could say it was cheapest that was available to buy at the moment, but it really wasn't that cheap. It was 2.3 liter 5-speed manual, and I bought that because I wanted to make a drift car. So pre-crashed car was good starting point. No need to be scared about crashing the car at least, because it was proper shitbox. I installed a turbocharger with some bigger injectors and just the intercooler and straight pipe, and it was done. It worked really nicely and it felt a bit faster than my classic 940, which had, I think, around 160 horsepower, and the 240 felt a bit faster, so it was good upgrade because I got the turbo set for cheap. And then I also welded the differential, because drift cars should have locked differential, and welding it is really cheap. Then I installed the hydraulic handbrake with double brake calipers on the rear. I drove the car 2 times on the track. First time I get to be alone. It was not any event or anything, and I used some old tires and it ate up those tires way too fast. So for the next event, which was public and there was a lot of other people, I bought brand new tires. Of course they are like 15-inch, 195, 55 I think, something like that. So not really a lot of grip, but also not really a lot of power on the car. And on the second day my radiator broke off, and it was like 28 degrees Celsius, so it was really hot day, and we had to wait like, I think, over 3 hours from my friend's friend to bring me a new radiator. It was pretty painful to wait, but when we got the new radiator we could drive again, so that was worth it. This car I sold a bit later because I wanted to build something bit better. And now we get to my first JDM car, which was a JZX 100 Toyota Mark II, and this is the reason why I sold the 940 Classic. It was NA non-turbo automatic, so the cheapest possible model, but I had to start somewhere, and it had only like 86,000 kilometers when I bought it, and I was the first owner in Finland for that car, which was great. And then on the first winter before driving the car, I installed the Tain Flex G coilovers, and then I got some cheap rep wheels, Japan racing wheels, which is not my proudest moment, but I really didn't have any extra money at the time for real wheels. And then I drove it like that for 1 year, and on the second year, on spring, I bought a body kit. It was Origin Labo body kit. I think it was like stylish line. I drove it like that for another summer, and then for the final summer with that car I bought my first set of real wheels, the wedge wheels. I can't remember the wedge model name, but they were like work Euroline style wheels, as you can see from the picture. And yeah, I drove the car all year, winter and summer, and the body kit really took a toll on it, but otherwise it was pretty clean car, and I really liked it, but since it was non-turbo and automatic, it was, well, kinda boring. Next, because as I said earlier with the Volvo, I wanted to build a better drift car. I bought a BMW E46. I think this was 2.8 liter, and I guess it was 6-speed because it's BMW. I'm not exactly sure, but it was M52 B28 engine, and I had huge plans for this car, but only thing I did, I installed the Sparkle steering wheel. I owned the car like 2 to 3 months, and then I wanted a bit older since I had the old Volvos, and I really like the old car style with the square bodies. They are something I enjoy a lot. So I changed the E46 for E34 5 Series BMW, and it was M20 B25, and I think it was 5-speed manual, but I can't remember. And I did a bit weight reduction for that car, but the car never really had a proper idle, or even on the RPMs it really didn't work properly. So there was something wrong with the engine, and when I inspected that, there was 2 rocker arms broken, which is pretty common on the M20 engines, I think. Then I just lost all motivation to that car and sold it away. And at that point I really didn't have that much motivation to pull that drift car or anything like that. I just wanted to enjoy my Mark II and buy something interesting to be as a project, or put the Volvo 240, my first car, because I still had that car. That was my plan that time, I think. Yeah, maybe this is all for this episode. In the next episode we are going to talk about more JDM stuff, because I really got into them after the Mark II, and we are starting the next episode off with the Celica Supra, so pretty much Supra Mark II, and then the episode will include Turbo JZX100 Chaser. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one.